everybody, my name is Marshall3498. In today's motovlog, I'd like to do something really exciting, something that I've wanted for at least 2 or 3 years now, and here she is. This is my new bike. It is a 2016 Yamaha FJR 1300, the ES model, electric suspension. This bike only has 9,300 miles on it. I don't know exactly how many people own it before me, but it's been well taken care of. It does have a few very, very minor scratches and one little stone chip on the front of the mirror here. But this is my new bike, guys. What y'all think? It's a real dark blue. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up. And it has lots of metallic in it when it's in the sun. But yeah, really exciting time. We'll hop on the bike and we'll go over some of the basics of bikes and what I think about it so far, and we'll go from there. And I'll talk about, the sport touring class as a whole, what I think about it now after owning one, finally, after waiting on it for the last 2 or 3 years. As y'all fellow followers, or subscribers, I should say, of my channel know, I really had a blast a couple years ago when I took that trip to Maggie Valley and Cherokee and all that stuff on the FC6, the last bike I had, and it just gave me a taste on what touring really is about. And not that there was anything wrong with the FC6, it was just time to move up to a bigger bike, something more touring friendly. FC6, if you want to do touring at a, you could probably add a bigger roll top bag or something to what I had, other than that little small Cortec tail bag, and do even better on touring it. I had a throttle lock and stuff, and I tried it a couple of times, but it just felt really weird and unnatural to me. I guess, from being in the car world, if you have something with cruise, when you actually can set the cruise, you're not a back road like this, it just feels much more natural just to hit the brake or pull in the clutch or hit the back brake and make it shut off. Yeah, I've really wanted a bike of this caliber, and this particular one, an FJR 1300. Cave Troll and my friend Matt Man know how much I've really dreamed about having this bike, and all my ducks got in a row and lined, so to speak, and I'm so thankful to be able to have such a nice bike, and I don't take that for granted at all. I absolutely love this thing. I've not ridden it a whole lot now, as we're still mid to late February in my area, but I have put 120, 130 miles on it so far, and I'll go over that, some of the pros and the cons and what I think about the bike so far. Biggest thing I can say about the bike is that I'll have to get used to is just the amount of weight that's there. My FC6 was not a lightweight bike, compared to like a dual sport. It was definitely not light. It weighed like I think factory specs on it, on my FC6 was like 470 pounds. So it wasn't extremely light, but it wasn't that heavy either. Good middleweight, I guess you could say. But this thing here weighs, with a full tank of fuel in it, according to Yamaha, weighs 642 pounds. So yeah, about 200 pounds, give or take, heavier. And although it is heavier, these FJRs, or at least mine, the ES model, are incredibly stable. Like, you hit a pothole or something like that in the road, the chassis doesn't get upset. It just kind of soaks it up. You can feel that you hit a pothole, but it is by no means a harsh ride. I would say it's more, a lot of people say they like suspension in the Goldie lock zone. I would say it's between like soft and medium. Depends on what setting you have it in. I've ridden it so far, and where those of you who don't know what an ES is, Yamaha, what they do, and they do the same thing on the Super Tenere, the big one, not the one that's coming out soon. It's the same basic setup. you have what they call your preload, which sets how much the bike is wanting to carry, and puts that in tries to put it in what it calls a perfect scenario. One rider with luggage, two riders, and then two riders with luggage, and then one rider by itself. I've ridden it in one rider and two rider just to see if I can feel any difference. And the only difference I can tell is that it does raise the whole bike up a little bit. I'm 5'10" with a 32-inch inseam, and because the tank on this bike is so wide, I can almost flat foot it, except my heels touching. So I guess that would be the balls of my feet, maybe a little bit more. If I really, really stretch, and try to, lift my butt up off the seat a little bit, so to speak, to try to really push my legs down, my heels almost touch. But even though the bike's really heavy, it wears its center of gravity really low. The only time I really even notice the weight is coming to a stop, that last few miles an hour right before you come to complete stop. And other than that, I really don't notice it. Yeah, it is more to fling around curves like this, but for a 645-pound bike, I tell you what, it is absolutely a good handling bike. Yes, you do have to put some more body English in it to make it move. It doesn't really like a quick change direction, but for the average sweeper on something other than a super tight back road like the Dragon or something that all of us know, my two riding friends, other than like 421, real tight, real short corners for lightweight sweepers, it doesn't really matter. And if you're buying this type of bike anyway, yes, you can ride it hard and try to keep up with sport bikes, because the bike does have enough power to keep up with the 600 with a confident rider. I think it will flat get down and move. But that's not really what this class bike's about. It's about carrying yourself and luggage and stuff with you in comforts, having good wind protection, being comfortable all day long in the saddle. And like I said, I haven't ridden it a lot yet, but I have ridden it about an hour at a time on a back road, and just to get off, just to kind of take a break, maybe got a little thirsty. I couldn't really tell I've been riding a motorcycle at all. Like, I wasn't sore at all. My back didn't hurt, my shoulders, even my legs from being bent up. They're quite at an acute angle and bent up, but they're not so much that it's really bothersome. If you're used to kind of a standard bike or even like an adventure bike seating, as far as your legs go, it's about the same. They're not really tucked up, but they are in a somewhat sporty position. But I can't say enough good things about this bike so far. I've just absolutely enjoyed every mile I've put on it so far. It is, I don't know, it's about as touring as you can get in a sports touring bike, in my opinion, for its class, other than like a BMW RT, but that's kind of in a different, even brand new is in a pretty substantial price difference. If you get the ES model from Yamaha, these bikes are $18,000 brand new, plus dealer prep, taxes, maybe freight, depending on that. But the bike by itself is $18,000. BMW RT, if my memory serves me right, if you get the nicer one that everybody gets with, lockable bags and, heated grips, heated seat, all that stuff that most people will get if they're going to get that type of bike. They're not really going to want the base model. It's about $24,000. So there's a pretty good price jump difference. And for that, you get more stuff for your money. It's just the way it is. But like I said, the bike so far has been fantastic. I'll report back maybe 6 months from now with a more long-term review. But I'm just absolutely loving this bike and having a great time on getting to know it and all its ins and outs. So hope y'all guys like today's motovlog. Be sure to leave a comment down below. I'll be happy to enter questions you have about this bike if you're interested in an FJR anyway, and something in that Sebnik. So on that, guys, ride safe and have fun, and we will see you on the next one. See ya.